This is a Heartifact Network podcast. Find us at heartifactstudios.com.au.
Welcome back to Australia Mania. It's the one and only wrestling podcast called Australia Mania. I'm your host, David Yang, joined always by Ricky Needs.
You got it wrong.
What do you mean I got it wrong? There's no wrong way to do this
back
intro.
Australia Mania, the only wrestling podcast.
Oh, so I throw in the one and only.
Not the one and
Oh, so I
only.
throw in the one and only.
This isn't the Ricochet podcast, mate. This is Australia Mania. Also, Michael's not here.
Oh, true, he's not here.
What the hell?
Oh, see,
Slack.
they don't know, the users or the listeners, that we've done this intro already and had a bit of technical difficulties.
We're trying to recapture.
Now we're trying to recapture the energy.
Yeah, but Michael's not here. He's at work.
Yeah, fuck him. It's WrestleMania week, though, so
No!
let's not live in the past, Michael not being here.
I'm so keen, dude. I'm so keen.
I'm okay.
You're okay?
I'm okay with it.
Even after this week. This week has been good,
Yo,
man.
this week has actually been nuts. This week has actually been nuts.
I'm hyped sufficiently for the 3 matches that I should be hyped for. And that is all that I can ask.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people get lost when it comes to when they generate hype. They're trying to sit back and they go, I'm so hype about every single match on the card. But I feel like when it comes to wrestling, and especially when it comes to Mania,
Don't be hyped.
you don't need to be hype about all 17 matches. You can be.
There is
You can
17
be.
fucking matches, man.
But you don't need to be hype about 17 of them. As long as you're hype for at least 2 of them.
And in
Then
this
that's a
case,
justification.
in this case, I will say 3, if not 4.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Only
Like,
because, like, Miz and Shane actually starting to look pretty good.
dude, The Miz can shit in the middle of the ring for 5 minutes. And honestly, I would put it on at the top of the 3rd hour.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, man.
it's that excellent.
Yeah, no, he's great. Like, he's killing it. Shane McMahon, back as a heel, in his natural habitat.
You reckon Shane works better as a heel?
He does, man.
Do you reckon if your name is just McMahon, you don't work face?
He's the okay, honestly, when was the last time Steph did anything truly heel? And yet she gets booed every single week because she's a heel. Well, because she's a McMahon. Like, honestly, she was the one that reinstated Becky Lynch after she got suspended by Vince McMahon. She is the one that's been pushing for the women's main event in kayfabe and out of kayfabe.
Look,
yet she's
to
still,
women, she's the biggest
Yes.
face in the history of women.
She still gets booed.
But she gets booed because she's
she
a
is
McMahon.
a McMahon. It's the same. Okay, right now, after this week, and when we're going to get to sort of breaking down the better segments from Raw, who in this feud between Triple H and Batista really feels like the heel to you? Is it Batista because he beat up an old man, but that old man happens to be Ric Flair? Or does it feel like Triple H because he's still associated in our minds with the authority?
No, I think Batista will be booked as heel in the match.
He will be booked as heel in the match, but the response he got after that 4-word promo this week was a very face reaction. I know he was in DC. I know he was back home. He was with his people.
Yeah.
But it's Batista, man. He's Drax. He's so fucking lovable.
Yeah.
You cannot hate this guy.
And it goes back to like what I think Cody said at last, where it was just the faces and heels don't exist anymore.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
really
matter anymore. Like,
you're gonna have people that are gonna want Triple H to win.
Yeah.
You want to have people with the one fucking Batista to win.
Yeah.
I think that
people are going to be cheering for Charlotte to win. And she's
That-
probably booked as probably the bigger heel in that triple threat.
that of all matches, I think the Batista Triple H is going to get the dueling chance of Batista Triple H.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be the
Do you reckon
super 50-50 split.
it's
Super split.
final match for both of them?
Well, I mean, if you want to know the answer to that, go watch our prediction video.
Yeah. Well,
but-
you know what? That's actually Ricky, a good point, because I think we should jump into news.
All right.
Before we get too deep into analysis, we got a bunch of news on the card here. Bunch of news on the
Michael's
card.
not here, so you're holding the torch. You're the.
All right, I got it. Wrestling news. Ba-da-da. Do my own sound effects now. In breaking news, WWE Cruiserweight Champion. No, he forgot to write former WWE Cruiserweight Champion and current Impact Wrestling X Division Champion Rich Swann has been announced for the upcoming World Series Wrestling Tour alongside Pentagon, Jordan Grace, and Joey Janela thus far.
He got acquitted for throwing his wife out of a movie vehicle.
Yes, he did.
Then I feel all right about this.
Yes. Yes.
I was not going to feel all right about it until that.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a bit hype. I'm okay with it.
Dude, it's something new.
If that's their big signing,
World Series.
actually, no, Penta's their big
Penta
signing.
is their big signing.
But
man. Like, World Series have their go-tos, and like the last couple of years, it's been Cody, it's been Marty.
oh no, so yeah, it's going to be Brian Cage, Marty Scurll going to
Yeah.
come down again.
Yeah.
They'll and Joey Ryan.
Joey
right?
Ryan,
like
yeah.
they're the three staples that have come the last like 6 shows, right?
Yeah, but throwing something new in, like a Rich Swan. Like
They
a
always,
Penta.
they throw in the new ones that join the cast, right? And then join the ensemble.
But eventually you run out of people who are available.
Yeah. I really hope they would have got Pac. Maybe they can still get Pac.
Dude, Bastard Park would be the best thing ever.
Maybe they can still get. Well. Let's not count the pockets. Let's not count pockets.
Okay.
Let's not count pockets. WWE announced the 2nd annual Women's Battle Royal and the 6th annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal will be the pre-show matches. Not a surprise. It's a massive far cry for stars like Braun Strowman, Shinsuke, and Asuka, who were pivotal roles at Mania last year, to now be in this match.
Hang on. Did he write Braun Strowman was a pivotal role last year?
Hey, wasn't he not the penultimate match that won the Raw tag?
With a child.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why are we stiffing that gimmick?
I don't know.
Honestly,
I don't know. At the time, it was great.
one of the most memorable things that's ever happened at Mania,
Hindsight,
in my opinion.
Hindsight, though, is 20.
Honestly, even in hindsight, good booking decision.
Yeah,
Good booking decision.
it wasn't the worst. Having him beat them single-handedly as a fucking badass motherfucker would have been the better way to go. But we don't get that.
Raw ratings have drawn 2% more from last week with
Fucking hope so.
2.639 million viewers, which is up from
fucking hope so,
2.589. Like I said last week, it's because of Brock Lesnar.
I don't think it's in his news, but there is apparently the reason for having the triple threat beatdown at the top of the second hour was very, very strategic by Vince because he knows that the third hour drops viewership, even though like you would think that should have closed.
What was the third hour, Finn?
No, third hour was fucking
Finn announcing Demon?
It was that, and the main event as we went off air was fucking Ray versus Baron Corbin.
Yeah, true. Well, Finn and Demon will touch on in the Raw review, which I think is what we should call it. The Raw review.
I'm pretty sure
But we need a 6 SmackDown alliteration.
Sure, every wrestling podcast.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Actually,
the Raw review?
the Raw wrap,
Or the Raw recap, or the Raw go fuck yourself.
All right. No, you're right. Well, moving on. Former WWE employee and Hall of Famer Jim Ross has said recently that he will be joining AEW in some capacity and said on his podcast, The Ross Report. I'm not going to read the exact quote that Michael's written here. He's got it literally verbatim. But that's interesting because he's just recently finished his contract with WWE.
Finally.
Yeah.
I had no idea he was still on the
Neither did I. I think it was more of like
the Legends deal.
Yeah, Legends deal.
Yeah, because he's been doing.
But he wasn't doing anything producing wise.
No,
He wasn't doing anything promotion wise. No. Right? Like it was just
the last thing he did commentary for? Would it been
his last commentary? He put it up today on Instagram. Was the Undertaker Roman Reigns match at WrestleMania?
Really? There you go.
Yep.
Because he's done like in the past like 5 years. He's done Wrestle Kingdom. He's done G1 special in San Francisco. He has done a bunch of other stuff for like smaller promotions. So I don't know whether that's like a clause in his deal where he can go. But if he's going to be signed on, I'm going to assume not only as an announcer for Double or Nothing. But do you think they're going to have him like backstage? Is he going to be
I reckon
a producer of some sort, like a road agent, like,
or at least a talent rep? In the sense that he because that's what his position was in WWE for the longest time in the early stages of his career, was that he was a talent relations guy, right? He handled, I don't know if he handled the firing and hiring.
Executive Vice President of Talent Relations.
But he was the guy who would scout talent and he would understand talent. He's the guy who found
Stone Cold.
The Stone Colds, the Randy
Ortons.
The Randy Ortons, I'm pretty sure he scouted. Brock Lesnar, I think he scouted.
Yeah, he did scout Brock.
So he's got an eye for it. And if I'm AEW, and this is all we will be discussing from AEW, if I'm them, then that's the perfect role for him. Obviously, he's a renowned announcer. Yeah. But I think his true talent is in his ability to see talent.
Yeah, 100%.
And final bit of news for the week. Rey Mysterio was kept on ice after an injury to the Lucha Libre star and didn't compete against Andrade on SmackDown. Mysterio is still slated to face Samoa Joe at WrestleMania for the belt, and we might see an involvement of Rey's son, Dominic. Well, hopefully that's just speculation from Michael.
No, we are.
Are we?
He's done like 3 promos on Samoa Joe. He's going to come out to the ring. Something's going to happen. Like Joe's going to whack that.
Dude, apparently Dominic is in wrestling training.
He is. Yeah.
So if he comes out in there and takes a couple of bumps.
Honestly, he's not a terrible promo.
Dominic?
Yeah, he's done all right.
I just don't think he's going to be a good wrestler. Have we broken this down before?
No.
I don't know if we want to dedicate a portion of the show to it.
When you look at him,
he's a big boy, but he's big comparatively next to Mysterio. So really, he's not a big boy.
Probably not.
But at the same time, and this is what
he's not Jonah Rock level of Hoss.
No, yeah, he's the lower end of a lot of guys that you can probably meld together and go.
Well, I was going to say,
all right, he could be that, but he's not that. But
Dave
he could be that.
Elgin, fucking Brian Cage is big boy, but he's buff big boy. But Otis.
But he's not. He's only a structurally, and when we say big, we're talking just like density wise, not muscle wise. Like
he's not. That's what I'm saying. Like,
big.
That's why I'm comparing him to like Jonah Rock or
Brody King, but without much fat.
Yeah,
but not as tall. See, it's hard because I don't think there's a person structurally like him.
He doesn't really like guys his size. Like what?
But he's not a guy his size.
Ray's 5'6".
Yeah,
so I'm going to say
he's like 6 foot. Maybe even less.
Maybe even less. So guys his size.
So he's not even tall because Seth is 6'2".
Guys his height are built like Ricochet, are built like Will Ospreay.
Exactly.
Like that. That's an interesting sort of like.
But I don't think it's interesting in a good way, though.
No, it's not. That's the problem.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't think it's interesting in a good way.
No, it's not.
And unfortunately...
It'd be like seeing me going out there and wrestle. No one wants to see that.
Yeah, and add like a couple of inches to your height, right? Like it's exactly that. But, and this is what I'm getting at as well. I think just no matter what we do, though, and no matter what he does, you're the son of Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
It's going to weigh over you, no matter where you go.
Do you wear a mask?
No, but do you wrestle like a lucha? Does he train lucha? Or does he just go, if I'm him, the only way I have a chance of success in this industry is if I don't train lucha.
I just thought of something.
I train power.
The only comparable person to him I can think of is Trent Seven.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Actually, yeah.
He's a young Trent Seven.
Yeah, okay.
So if he goes over to Britain, learns the bruiserweight style.
But he would have to learn that.
Joint manipulation, that mat-based wrestling, the submission holds with like one or two cool like OP moves off the top rope or something. But you gotta like, for him, he's gotta like. I didn't think we'd go into this podcast discussing the career prospects of Dominic Mysterio. I guess is his last name. What is Ray's?
I don't even know Ray's first name. Is it actually Ray?
I have no.
No, Oscar. It's Oscar something.
Yeah.
Muntez. Fuck if I know.
But anyway, Dominic Mysterio. Just drop that. Call yourself Dom. Go out and wrestle.
I wouldn't do that.
Why not?
No, I wouldn't do that in today's sexual climate. What's his tag team partner? Sub?
Fuck. How is that not a great idea, though?
Why has there not been a Dom and Sub gimmick?
That is something like Progress would do, Evolve would do, PWG would lap that shit up.
Oh, dude.
PWG
There's a gimmick there.
Would love Dom and Sub. Who's the sub, though?
Well, it's obviously not Dom.
Well, I know, but like who? Like,
who do we get a sub? It has to be a smaller bloke.
Are we talking? No, are we talking like? Are we talking same gender? Are we talking mixed tag?
Ooh, now that. Ooh, I like it.
Mixed tag.
I like it.
And
you know what? Even really get into it.
They get to change. Like, if you go mixed tag, it depends. Like they're just called Dom and Sub, but you never know. Like, okay, you know, once they walk out, whoever's wearing.
Do they come out in gimp suits?
Whoever's wearing the leather daddy mask. Sorry, I got there. Is obviously the sub for that night, but the Dom is the one with the whip and the chain.
Oh, I love it.
It's a purely interchangeable gimmick where you.
Any wrestling promotion, hit us up. We've got it written out for you.
Please. Anyway, let's get off Dominic.
Well, that's news for the week.
Yeah, okay.
We could jump right into the Raw review.
So good. So many good things. And so many shit things. All right.
Well, what do you want to start with?
Where do you want to start? I want to start with Finn.
Okay.
I want to jump right to Finn.
I guess we'll start with Finn.
And Finn Mysterio. Finn Balor. Fuck me. Finn Balor, his entire promo this week can be summed up by this phrase. What the fuck was the tongue thing? What was that?
He's a demon. He's a demon.
He's not a tongue demon.
What do you mean?
He's not a tongue demon. He's not a little tongue demon boy.
I don't know. I got no words on it. Look, I'm hyped that the demon's back.
It was trash. How much better would it have been at WrestleMania? You're like, is he coming out as a demon? Is he not? We don't know. Thing goes to black. Every light in the stadium goes out. Dum, 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 dum. Dun, dun, and the crowd goes fucking ballistic. Now we know it's coming. The surprise has been ruined. When he beat Baron Corbin at SummerSlam? Yeah, SummerSlam. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, but like, oh shit. No one knew the Demon was coming out. But the minute I think you were there for SummerSlam. You were at my place for SummerSlam.
Yes.
I think so. But I remember like the minute the lights went down and you heard the thunk thunk, I popped so fucking.
Oh,
I was like,
you and everyone
fucking
else.
Like,
but this is. All right, no, you know
so
what?
annoyed,
Let's spend a little
man.
time breaking this down, and I think we've done it in a previous podcast before.
so annoyed.
I'm not against the idea that they've announced the Demon. Now, my problem is, last time we saw the Demon was SummerSlam. That was, oh my God, what are we going on? 6 months? Early.
Longer, yeah.
Longer, right?
Well, August to fucking April.
Yeah. Now, I get the idea of keeping the Demon sparse, right? And I get the idea of keeping him off the regular shows.
Except when he probably should have fought Brock Lesnar as the Demon.
Yeah,
That
and
would make sense.
and that's the problem with the Demon. It's
I know.
when
It's when they choose to put him on.
Yeah.
Not when he chooses
when
to put it on.
contextually the Demon should be able to, like, it's the idea of like it's like a gimmick match, right? You have a Hell in a Cell or a steel cage.
yeah.
You don't start a feud with those.
No.
Right? But you end a feud with those. You end a feud with a last man standing match. You end it with the Hell in a Cell.
Fucking right.
These are the things that you sit back and go, all right, we've had 3 or 4 matches in the past. I might have lost 1 or 2 of them, or all of them. But now this is my last chance. Throw me in a cell. I know I can beat him in a cell.
Yep.
Right? And you go to all lengths and that's it. Like, so there's nothing else you can do more than the cell. The Demon is the last resort for Finn.
Yeah.
Right? It's the Finn that, and this is, the regular Finn should be picking up more wins. But
Yes.
regular Finn is the guy who's much like every other wrestler at a main event level, in my opinion, where he can come out and he can win, right? But then he does go up against guys like Brock Lesnar. He does go up against guys like Bobby Lashley, who are meant to be contextually bigger than him and stronger. Dominant. They're more dominant, right?
boys.
Where the high-flying stuff doesn't work for the moment, and then he just gets overpowered.
Yeah.
And then that's where you activate Demon, right? And you go, all right, I've lost 2 matches now against you, and now feud's coming to an end. Don't need to put it in a cell or whatever, but you're going to face the Demon, right? And then the Demon...
And I see that running the risk of all of a sudden WWE coming up with another gimmick called a Demon match.
God damn it.
I worry about, because they would do that.
Yeah.
You know they would.
Kane really went to shit when they introduced the Inferno match.
I know. So fucking stupid.
Yeah, Kane really went to shit after that.
Let's put fire around the ring, you idiots.
No, shoot though. The match was lit.
Oh, fuck off.
I do miss a good Inferno. The Kane versus MVP. That was peak wrestling. That was peak wrestling in my opinion.
2007 SmackDown was
peak wrestling.
That
was peak wrestling.
David Yang 2019. ladies and
MVP
gentlemen.
was the tag champion and US champion at the time of Matt Hardy. I'm pretty sure it was a fucking excellent time. It was a good moment in wrestling. Anyway, this is my only problem with the Demon is that we're sitting. I'm not against the Demon being sparse but just utilize it more. But if I'm Finn Balor and I have this ultimate trump card, why
always play the trump card?
Yeah, I would love, and I've gimmick booked a Demon storyline months ago that I would love to see if WWE has thought of, and I would love if they have to do it to a point where Finn gets so pissed off as being just regular self that it's more like it's like a Spider-Man. Oh, it's like an Eddie Brock and Venom situation, where it's just like, I can't do it anymore. Demon take over permanently. And then we just get Demon Bella week in and week out just going, all right, regular Finn is done and pissed off. I've now taken over. Let him run heel, but he just fucking annihilates everyone. Now, the only problem with that story is that means... Not even oversaturation. It just means the Demon gimmick has to come to an end. Because if you run that storyline, ergo, that means you eventually run into a point where it's like, all right, much like Brock Lesnar, the Beast has to be slain. Right? Otherwise, it's a pointless gimmick. The Beast does that. There needs to be a third act.
And the Demon has to be defeated.
So the Demon will have to be defeated.
Yeah.
Right. So then you've lost the Demon gimmick going forward.
Well, that's no fun.
That's no fun.
The Demon
but the fun would be the fucking 4 months you get out of just Demon, right? Where it's just like you built it with Finn just getting fucking absolutely annihilated by everyone.
It would make much more sense to have Finn shouting into a mirror than it would Mojo Rawley.
Yeah. What I would do is I would have Finn go on a pursuit for the Universal title back, realize he can't get it, and he goes, the only way I could fucking do it is if I just let him take over. Yeah. Let the Demon take over, and then the Demon just like absolutely annihilates Seth or Brock.
that is just a better version of what they tried to do with Sister Abigail and
exactly.
Bray Wyatt.
Exactly. But it would make so much more sense for Demon Bella.
100%. Can you imagine if we actually lived in a world where Bray Wyatt didn't get fucking mono or whatever the fuck he got, and we actually got him dressed in drag as Sister Abigail versus the Demon? I want to live in that universe. just for a little bit.
I try not to imagine that was ever going to be the actual match.
It was going to be a thing, man. He dressed up in he had like the veil over his face and shit.
Because instead of that, we did get Demon versus AJ.
We did,
which was excellent.
I'm also happy I live in this universe, but just for a little bit, I want to travel to that universe and just see that match, then come back, just for a little bit. Because then we could have got...
Because Bray hasn't been seen
Because then we could have got Demon Finn versus AJ at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
On a big stage where people would care instead of TL fucking C.
Dude, can you imagine if... Because they only had a day to prepare that match too.
I know. Imagine you give...
Give them
I'm gonna
promo.
backtrack a bit and just say that those boys, I'm sure, would have been planning a match together for a while.
Oh, yeah. I know a lot of wrestlers are like that.
I know there were ships passing in the night at New Japan. Finn's final night was AJ's first night. But you got to think at some point those boys ran into each other on the indies probably a fair bit. And I know that they would have their ideal match in their heads at some point.
I just like to believe every wrestler has spoken to every other wrestler and gone, yo, if you and I had to have a match, bro, imagine if we hit this, right? And then like on Messenger at home, like before they go to bed, you know how like we have shit banter?
Yeah.
They have shit banter with other wrestlers, be like, yo, man, I would hit the cleanest curb stomp on you, bro, if you would have lifted me up and blah, 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 blah. Just like, yeah, bro, and I'll reverse it into the fucking no.
So that is still the most fascinating thing and still the most protected thing about wrestling is like wrestlers prepping for a match. We got a little bit of it in... It was a Viceland or one of those like shows. No, Rolling Stone. They did a thing on the Bucks. And it was the Bucks against, I want to say Roppongi 3K or one of the Japanese speaking tag teams in New Japan.
Yeah.
And they were discussing it in this like obvious shorthand that the English and Japanese guys have over there where they can just like say moves and kind of just by the way that they've said it or the gesture they make, they get what they're talking about. Because obviously that would be a really hard thing for
language barrier.
Yeah, and I notice a lot when it's especially like Kenny and Okada in their series of matches. Whenever there was a big spot about to happen, you would just hear the other opponent yell out the other person's name real quick. So you'd hear like Kenny going for a V trigger or for like that overhead bulldog thing he does. It would just be like Okada. Or Okada going for that insane drop kick. He would just, as Kenny's like turning around to take it, he'd just be like, Kenny. Kenny, Tana. That is still the most like fascinating thing to me in wrestling is just the prep.
Yeah, and I think you're 100% right
shit that goes into like how to book a match.
We know everything else about the industry.
Fascinating to me, man. Especially Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
What is that meeting like, man? What is that meeting like?
Does Brock even go to it? It's what I want to know.
I think it's
Does
just
Brock
Paul,
even go to it?
Paul gets his phone out and just records all the audio and then just takes it to Brock. And
Brock has that much trust in Paul that Brock doesn't even go, but he sends Paul. Yeah. And he's just, the only word of like gimmick that he said to Paul is just like, look, you know my spots, right? Don't settle for anything less.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
And Paul just walks in and then it'll be someone like Seth or Dean being like, I want to try this. And Paul's just deadpan Jones like, No. We're going to start with Germans, right?
And we're going to finish with Germans.
And in between, there's going to be maybe 4 or 5 more Germans.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that? And they're like, yeah, no, I'll take all that. But like, no. Brock Lesnar. And then it's a 5-star match because it's Brock Lesnar.
The one that's fascinating to me is like...
Brock Lesnar 100% does not go to those particular meetings.
That booking meeting prior to the Daniel Bryan match at Survivor Series. Because he got in a fuck ton of offense. And I was like, how do you sell that to Brock?
I would love to know how much
to Brock, man.
How much of Brock's matches are called on the fly? Because that's another thing with the industry is that a lot of it is called on the fly. A lot of it, a lot of the SmackDown and Raw matches are called on the fly.
You still got to hit those points, like to get.
You do, but everyone knows everyone else's points.
I know.
You're sitting there and you're like, okay, like, and like you have to. It's your job, right? You got to know, like, if I'm versing Seth, immediately off the bat, you're like, okay, well, what's his finisher? Oh, it's the curb stomp, which means, all right, I need to get into a position to get into the curb stomp, right? And then he's got 3 or 4 other signatures and a heat up. Right? And then everything else from that is just like you can call on the fly.
It's the perfect, like the first time I noticed a pattern with anybody was Cena. Shoulder tackle. They go for the big like haymaker. They turn around, goes into the drop, 5-knuckle shuffle, F5, F4,
You.
Thank you. Fuck me. I'm out of it. But that was the first time I noticed that like finishing pattern. And now you notice it all the time.
Yeah.
But like the best thing.
Now you know the beats.
The best thing is when they subvert you and you're like, oh, I didn't see that coming because it's not how they usually finish a match. And of course now Cena has the punch of doom or whatever the fuck it is.
Yo.
It's so stupid.
I really hope he's at Mania. Well, we'll touch on that in a moment.
Well, I mean, okay,
but you just said Brock, so I think that's a perfect segue.
Let's talk about Brock.
Now, just really quick before we touch on that, the fuckface Michael at the top of the talking points
saw this.
has written the placeholding Universal Champion.
He is so far from a placeholder.
He is Michael.
He's
is
beyond a placeholder.
Michael has got to be the dumbest wrestling.
You spent nearly an entire year calling the WWE champion WWE champion.
And was I wrong? Was I wrong? At what point?
He had a year-long
At any
reign,
point? Okay, he had I couldn't tell you a single fucking main event match he's had. Wait a minute, he didn't have a single one.
Yeah, no, that's because the Universal title exists.
Yeah,
Not his fault.
right.
Come on, man.
Great feuds too. Who were they against again? Oh, Shinsuke. Started with Jinder too, by the way. Don't forget.
Samoa Joe. That was a good feud.
That was about it.
Wendy.
He had it for
Wendy!
he had it for a year.
Wendy, I'm
he had it
home.
for a year, and you remember one feud.
No,
I mean,
no.
you remember the other ones,
No,
but you shouldn't remember the other ones.
No.
You shouldn't remember Jinder, and you shouldn't remember fucking Shinsuke.
No. The one that is most memorable, and should be for you as well, is the Daniel Bryan feud.
Oh, true. Yeah.
Because he got kicked in the balls.
Yeah, and lost.
Exactly.
Thank God.
I know. Anyway, Brock.
But Brock, oh, dude, we were talking about it before, and we said it last week, and now we're going to reiterate it again. I'm telling you.
Loving.
Telling you, dude.
He is loving.
Honestly,
every
I'm calling it now.
second
Calling it now. Match of the night.
This.
Match of the night. It's going to go for 15 minutes at least.
At least.
At least.
At the very
and
least.
my God, they're going to
It's going to suck if it's a 7-minute squash. It's going to fucking suck. If we keep building
Brock
it up,
comes out, German, we're done.
If it's shorter,
If it's shorter than 6 minutes.
No, if it's shorter than
with the Brock
the
finish?
fucking Cena match, man.
Oh, dude, but that match, but the brilliance of the Cena match is that we're not actually
It was the
sitting
first
there.
fucking time.
Yeah, it's like we're not actually sitting there and stiffing it for what it was, but we're actually praising it for what it was.
That Cena match is fucking incredible.
It's one. I argue it's one of the best because of how it worked.
I know.
You don't need to have a technical
remember.
match to have a great match. You just got worked.
I remember watching that live and just being like, "What?"
Yeah, I
is
did too. I
happening?
literally was jaw on the floor.
Yeah.
Right. It was at that level. I hadn't felt that way since Triple H Taker.
Yeah.
Where I was just like,
Yeah.
so in tune of what was happening, and I couldn't believe what was happening.
Because it is Brock, and because it was like Cena getting manhandled the way he was, it was like, man, this feels so legit. And for a minute, I'm just like, is Brock going into business for himself? Is that what's happening right
and
now?
you question,
is he just like, I'm
has he
just going
gone
to win this
against?
fucking
Because
title?
no one does
Fuck
that to
you.
Cena. No
Yeah.
one does that to
But
Cena.
I get like the way he was interacting with Seth this week on Raw, man. Like he's just giggling and laughing and just like that big dumb grin on his face, just like,
I love it when Brock has fun.
Dude.
Yeah, I think it's got to be one of the most wholesome things, but it's one of those things that shouldn't be very wholesome when you think about it, but it's so wholesome to
'cause
me.
he's a scary motherfucker.
Yeah, just seeing Brock have fun. Because you actually should be so fucking scared.
I know.
If Brock's angry at you, at least you know that you predicted it, right? You're like, that's what Brock is. You've
Yeah.
seen that coming. But if Brock's having a fucking giggle with you,
Yeah.
you should be goddamn afraid.
I know.
Because you don't know what the fuck's going through his mind.
It's basically like Joe Pesci asking you why he's funny. Why am I funny? Am I a clown to you? Huh? That's exactly what it is. Because if he's laughing, you're like, is he laughing because something I did was funny? Or is he laughing because he's just thinking about how much he's about to kill me and how much joy he's going to get out of ripping my arms out of their sockets?
I love
that
Brock Lesnar.
is the thing. I know, I get it. But dude, I just, the way he was fucking interacting with Seth, he sold the shit out of the curb stomp.
Yeah. Yo,
I worry
Seth
though.
sold the shit out of that German too.
Dude, Seth takes that German.
That was got to be the cleanest
Going
looking
back.
German I've ever fucking seen.
Royal Rumble 2015 triple threat match.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be. You know what? That's up there as one of the greatest triple threat matches of all time.
I'm looking to that. I know Cena was in that match and Cena added a lot to that
Cena
match.
was in that match? Oh, I thought it was one-on-one.
No, that was the Battleground one that was.
No, I know.
No, okay. But look to that match. Look to how. I know Brock slept for a bit.
Yeah.
But
dude, Brock and Seth has one of the better stories going into Mania if you include the years.
The first thing that needs to be on the promo
because
package,
we've discussed it.
First thing that needs to be on the promo package is Seth cashing in at 31.
Yeah.
That needs to be the
I would
antithesis
honestly run the story
for the
of I've beaten Brock before, and if I beat him again, I'm going to be the only one.
He has not said that.
I know, but that's a missed point there.
I don't think it is because he never pinned him.
No, but he's beaten him. How many people have beaten Brock Lesnar?
Then technically he's beaten him
Once.
No, wait. Oh, yeah, because the Battleground DQ was against Brock. So technically, Brock would have won that match.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
He would be the only person, if he walks out of Mania, to beat Brock twice. Right? Like, that is...
Taker.
Taker never beat him twice.
No, well, okay, no, he did back in the... Wait, did he beat him?
In the new run. In the new run of Brock Lesnar. I'm not including fucking 2002 Brock Lesnar where he lost to Kurt like 4 times, right? Like,
Soz. I'm getting ahead of myself.
yeah. So since he's come back in 2012, he's only lost a handful of times and once to every single person.
Yeah.
Right? And we discussed this already. We discussed it a couple of podcasts ago.
Trips beat him once and he got the win back.
Yeah. Cena beat him on his return, then he beat Cena then.
Yeah.
Then he beat him again.
And then he beat him in the triple threat match as well.
Yeah.
All right, we'll call it.
But that's what I'm saying. This is...
Chalk it up as a win for Seth with an asterisk.
Yeah, but this will be...
With an asterisk.
Win again.
I know.
And that has not been done
That would be...
at all.
Something else.
This would be a proper slaying.
Yeah, like, no, it has to be... the one thing I'm worried about was the addition of the low blow. Is, like, they don't do stuff like that unless they're pushing towards something, or they're planting the seeds for something to happen. So I'm getting the feeling we're going to get a ref bump, a low blow, and then a curb stomp. If Seth is going to be the winner.
Yeah, isn't that the problem with Brock matches? I think that's the only problem with Brock matches is when it comes to beating Brock or getting to hurt him.
Good enough for Taker? Is it good enough for Seth?
Well, everyone's done it. Everyone that's managed to get an upper hand on Brock in matches has
whacked him in the balls.
has whacked him in the nuts, or has done a ref bump or some kind of distraction against Brock.
Yeah.
It's never been a one-on-one where they've gotten the upper hand over, aside from not even Cena.
No, well,
Goldberg.
Reigns and Goldberg.
Actually, you know what? Right, you're right then. Yeah. Oh, Reigns in
Reigns to beat him. There was the distraction.
There was the
Braun.
distraction. Then there was the
Braun
chair. I think they
physically-
tried to sell the fact that when he speared him, the chair was meant to have knocked him a bit
I
more.
guess that saves him a little bit.
Yeah.
Man, I don't fucking know.
But that's what I'm saying. It's true of every Brock match that to get the upper hand on Brock, something has to happen to Brock. It's not you beating him. It is something happening to Brock.
It's circumstantial.
Right? Yeah.
But
I would like them not to do that when it comes to. I think if Seth is to win,
Seth needs the cleanest win in the world.
yes, let Seth actually get an upper hand on Brock. Let it be a genuine, methodical approach that Seth is genuinely prepared for this match.
I would
has scouted
actually
him.
be okay with like, and I mean we kind of had it in the Daniel Bright, but like 5 minutes of just feeling out and just like.
Do you reckon Brock wrestles?
Like, doing the story of like Seth trying to work out how to beat this guy.
Yeah.
You can't just go in. He's probably going to take...
You don't want a beat for beat Daniel match, though.
He's probably going to take 2 Germans in the first couple of minutes.
No, I reckon you break the mold right away and you just go, he doesn't take a German for a while. I say you give Seth the upper hand at the start to shock the audience. That's your first shock.
Yeah.
And then it's the dominating Brock for the longer part of the match.
Yeah.
And then you end with either a curb. See, also at the same time, I don't know who wins that match.
No.
I don't know who wins that match.
Because, like we said...
And obviously, we'll touch on that in predictions, but I think we can still elaborate it here.
There is the 3 matches, right?
Yeah.
Where we have potential for 3 really good happy endings. Are we going to get 3 happy endings?
No.
I don't think so.
And I think it harkens back to WrestleMania 30. I think
I know.
The bittersweet of this event is that Seth doesn't win.
Oh man!
But you do get Kofi and Becky.
He is the obvious choice to take an L.
He is.
Take an L.
Yeah.
Which
I
sucks,
think the
man,
obvious
which
choice
sucks.
What would hurt more, Seth losing or Kofi losing? Because I think if Kofi didn't have the story he has right now,
but I think
he would be the easiest to take the
I think
L.
there's more story to tell with Kofi.
I think if he loses this match, he doesn't get a shot at the world title going forward. I think if
really?
No, I don't think he would deserve it.
Even if Rowan gets involved and it's dirty. Do you not think that
you ruin that match then. Like that's just stupid. It should be
I know, but he's a heel. Of course he's going to try and use Rowan to win the match.
No, you're right. No, you're right.
Like,
I'm not saying you're wrong, but you're
Kofi does
right.
have the equalizers there in I'm assuming Big E and Woods are going to be ringside.
Yeah.
So he's got the equalizer. So if somehow Rowan incapacitates them and influences the match, then Kofi automatically gets a rematch.
All I'm saying...
You're right. If he loses clean, that's it.
All I'm saying is lose in any regard. I think that's the end of the
I know, but then if Seth loses, Brock fucks off again.
Yeah.
So, like,
It's
to me,
I don't know.
That story needs.
I feel like, look, whilst we both have just said we don't know actually if Brock loses, I think this is, and I know we said it last year.
We said it last year.
I know we said it last year, right? And I'm going to say it again. And look, I'm ready to be hurt again. Honestly,
a lot last year.
Yeah, I think if Brock had to take an L at WrestleMania,
This one.
it's this one. It's this one. But
This is Groundhog Day, man. We are just repeating history.
But
Fuck. I don't know. I just don't know.
But you just don't know. You just don't know when it comes to Brock Lesnar.
I know. Well,
right?
no, it's not just Brock, man. It's fucking Vince, because Vince fucking loves Brock.
Oh, no, don't blame him. I don't blame him.
You know, Vince is just like, push it to SummerSlam. That's in his head. That is 100%. And, like, Vince could wake up tomorrow.
100%
like,
he'll be doing Crown Jewel.
Vince, whatever the new Saudi thing is.
Yeah.
Well, dude, Taker is booked for that, and he's not booked for Mania.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the point, that this Saudi Arabia, we can get the Saudi Arabia thing after WrestleMania. Let's just enjoy this week.
Yeah. Look, I don't know with Brock, man. I don't know with Brock, man.
I am 100% of the assumption that every day this week, from like this Sunday just gone up until the Sunday coming, each day Vince is going to wake up at 4 a.m. and have a different idea of who wins Mania.
Oh, 100%. He's
going to wake up.
100%. You actually don't know who's walking out of Mania until 20 minutes before your match.
Brock. Seth.
Because Seth getting called in to do the Money in the Bank was an on-the-day gimmick.
Yeah. Yeah.
It wasn't on the day one.
Early in the day before the card went live, but it was still early as fucking the day, man. Okay, the thing with me, they changed that segment. It was originally supposed to be Brock standing tall, which in classic wrestling booking means that Seth goes home as the winner.
Yeah.
They swapped it last minute on the day. Tell me that wasn't a fucking Vince idea to be like, no. Seth stands tall with the belt in his hand to close off that part of the feud before Mania.
Yeah.
Classic wrestling booking would tell you that means Brock goes home as the champ.
Look, but this is what we've said.
But
when it comes to Brock Lesnar, logic is thrown out the window.
We don't know anymore.
It
Fuck
doesn't.
you, Vince.
For 90% of the card, that obviously means what we've just said. WWE logic. You stand tall to go home. You don't win on the night.
No,
right?
That's it.
But Brock Lesnar, dude, he exists.
Actually,
he exists in a different world.
This actually makes more sense than people realize. WrestleMania 31. What is the lasting image you have of that Raw going off the air? The two of Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns playing tug of war.
Yeah,
for the belt.
hilarious.
I hated that image. But when you think about it, neither of them stood tall. Therefore, neither of them walked out of WrestleMania with the belt.
Ooh.
Maybe they had that in their minds a little bit earlier.
Well, then you've just played into the credence that Brock Lesnar will retain on this weekend.
God damn it, no.
But look, I'm not against it. I'm
not either, but fuck me, I love Seth. Seth is so...
Look.
Like, he has... Since Roman came back, he has had a spring in his step.
Yeah, they all have.
He really has.
They all have.
Yeah. You can tell the whole roster has just been like, man, Roman's back.
Look.
He is a leader in the locker room. People have said this.
Oh, no shit. Yeah,
and the fact that he's back, I know the build has been pretty shit for some of these matches, but I was saying the same thing before WrestleMania 31. I was like, the build to every single match is fucking garbage and I hate it. And I've walked away going, WrestleMania 31 is one of the best WrestleManias from start to finish ever. And I will stand by that because it is fucking awesome. I watched it the other night. I was home. I had no work. I was like, fuck it. I'm going to watch WrestleMania 31. Loved every fucking second.
I'm actually going to need to go back and watch a couple of Manias.
It's so... Like, 31 is so fucking good. Mostly just for the Seth pop-up RKO spot, but apart from that, it is just a solid fucking Mania from start to finish. This build has been similar. It's been muddy. It's been mixed. It's been like, some bits are good, some bits are shit. But
now
it's got the recipe to be fucking awesome. It really does.
I don't know if it's a wild card at all, but are we even floating the idea that Dean comes out at some point?
Came out
is that in there? Is WWE looking at that and going, look, Dean, we don't have it on right now, but if things like it is right there, that
he's going to be there.
He will be there, but what I'm saying is, when it comes to, and only when it comes to Seth and Brock match, not anything else, is that their hidden trigger? Is that the one where they're going, if on the night we really don't like what we're seeing, if we really don't like the match that we've got produced, and we want to get our finish,
do
pull the trigger on Dean's final appearance being a screw or put over of Seth.
You know that Dean would love that because of his relationship with Brock. He would love to get maybe just like a little stiff shot.
And I think that would be a really telling finish to the Dean Ambrose arc. If it's just
not bad.
Ref bump, like you said, and this would be the only acceptable ref bump I would take in this match. Ref bump out, both men down, Brock looking like he has the upper hand. Dean comes out, clean as dirty deeds, walks the fuck out, absolute pop. Seth is like, I don't care if I haven't done it myself, whatever. We've just slain the beast.
Yeah.
And then he gets the win.
I mean, people have said the same thing.
I know. People,
But
no shit. It's not an original opinion.
For the Roman Drew match.
Yeah.
Because, like, that one, I think...
That one will make a little
Dude,
bit more sense, actually.
The Roman Drew match, for me, is nearly the hardest to call. Because you got Roman coming back from leukemia, feel-good moment. But he got his feel-good moment with the Shield a couple of pay-per-views ago.
Yeah.
Drew is like, he's the next monster.
Can
heel.
Drew take an L? Is the question we
Exactly.
ask here.
Right
Can Drew
now,
take an L?
I don't know if he can. I think he needs a win.
Yeah.
I think he needs a big win.
I think he does get the win.
Yeah.
Because I think...
But everyone was like, maybe we keep him strong by having Dean come down and help Roman out. Therefore, it's not a cleanest of losses for Drew, so he maintains some of his heat.
Yeah.
And we still get
It's
Roman.
hard, man.
I know. Like,
it's hard.
I think, like, everything you think, you want that feel-good moment from Mania. And for the most part, they usually give you more face wins than losses. But you've got to figure out where they're going to give you that low moment, where it's either Kofi, or it's going to be Becky, or it's going to be Seth, or Roman, or The Miz.
Now,
like, who has to take that? Who can bounce back best from a loss?
In a Mania stack with so many potential high moments,
I know.
a Kofi winning the world title wouldn't be the highest. I think you'd actually get more.
After that seg tonight on SmackDown, it's pretty fucking high up there. The crowd,
But I think you would
the crowd
get...
was hot.
Oh, they are.
Dude.
But crowd's hot right now for both the main event with the women, and I think they're also hot for that Brock match, because a lot of it seems like Seth's going to win. So it's like a lot of it's being like hopeful. But I think
all three of them are...
there's something more telling in Kofi standing there after taking a loss, and you ask the story, well, what's next? Rather than Kofi's got the win. That feel-good moment, whilst great, isn't so long-lasting when it comes for like then what's next for that? Well, obviously what's next? He's the WWE champion, right? So then he goes on to defend it. That's the end, right? It's the Daniel Bryan story.
Well, that's the thing. The thing is
Daniel Bryan's character, before this current Daniel Bryan, his character was a chaser. Whilst the payoff is nice, that's then you start looking back and going, wait, why is he not hype anymore? Why am I not really hype about Daniel Bryan being world champion? No, because you're hyping the way he chased it, right? And it's the same thing with Kofi. Everyone's hyping the way he chased it. But don't forget that when he wins the belt and you ask yourself when he's had a lackluster 2 months with the title, going, well, why is it lackluster? Maybe because not the run is lackluster, but it's you being compared to how hype the chase was. And I think that's where we get at. There's more to be said about Kofi taking a loss at Mania because it's a better story of, fuck, I've done everything. What's next? Does he continue chasing? Right? Like, then that's how long does a man chase for? Right? Can they ask that question now? Like, how long does a man chase for? Maybe he should win at Mania. But I'm saying in a Mania full of so many good moments, there's something to be said about that low point being Kofi just couldn't get it done.
Fuck.
Kofi just couldn't get it done.
I don't like that you're making sense right now. I hate it. It's terrible. Yeah, I'm not a fan of you making sense. All right. We're going to have to cut the episode short, unfortunately.
Yeah. We'll touch on a lot of this in the video.
Yeah, so keep an eye out for our prediction vid. Should be up in collaboration with this or around the same time. As it goes up on YouTube. If you're on the iTunes, Twitter, Spotify, Spotify, not Twitter, or wherever you're listening to this, head over to our YouTube channel. Just search Australia Mania on YouTube. The links are also down below in the description and all that jazz. And yeah, check out our prediction video. We're going to be doing one for TakeOver and one for WrestleMania. Yeet indeed. Yeah, we'll catch you all next week. Enjoy this weekend. Enjoy all of WrestleMania. All WrestleMania weekend, NXT, the Hall of Fame, the Ring of Honor, New Japan Supercard show, which I'm very much looking forward to. And we'll see you guys next week. Enjoy WrestleMania.
Ladders.
Bye.
This podcast is part of the Heartifact Podcast Network. For more of this and our other podcasts, head to heartifactstudios.com.au.